And welcome back to
Recording in progress.
Hello everyone, welcome back. This is a very special day, International Women's Day. And today's subject matter, Henry is going to introduce a special flower that is the day lily with a special symbolism. So please take a look at the email I sent and the handout and enjoy. Before we start, I want to remind everybody again that your image and name will be visible as we are recording this class as usual. So if you do not want to be visible, turn off your video and you are welcome to change your name if you would like. Thank you. And here is Henry.
Hello everyone, happy International Women's Day for ladies. Today we're going to paint daylily with waterfall. So if you look at our handout, here's a painting with tiger in the background. Of course, it's for the year calendar for Kathy Bank. The original idea was to paint a tiger with the traits of cautious tiger in drinking by the waterfall. I was hearing an echo. Can you mute your microphone there? Let me see if anybody need to mute. Yeah. Participants. Let me mute. Okay, everybody's mute. No, maybe you need to mute yours. If I heard an echo. Okay, sorry about that. So we're going to show you the process. The cautious is the word. I think what's the title? 谨慎. Okay, yeah, that was one of the tiger personality traits, in the zodiac, Chinese zodiac. But we eventually we abandoned that title because it will give us more freedom to create. But some of those traits are still visible. So we got the reference of a waterfall in the background, a tiger drinking by the water. That's the original prompt, and I suggest them to add the lilies in order to celebrate the Mother's Day, and because this is a Chinese lunar calendar, so I used the Chinese Mother's Day symbol of daylily. The story is goes back to the prehistorical, maybe the earliest text, like the book of poetry already mentioned the lily. So can you see my table there? Let me spotlight on did you spotlight me there?
Oh, I forgot. 1 second. I am going to do it. 1 second. Sorry.
Okay, great. So let me see. It's this. Try to show the larger one. Okay, here we go. So this is the first version I did on the rice paper. Actually, I still have this original here. Let me show you. Okay, so this was before we shipped to the Fusion watercolor. It's still Fusion, but it's on Chinese rice paper. And on this right side is the original. So it's basically a Chinese painting, a combination of landscape and the flowers and animal. So you might, I had a question last time from a student, a lady, questioned about the proportion. In this fusion composition or composite, I will say, we try to paint the symbolism with the composition or composite of different elements of flower, animal, and landscape. So not necessarily a realistic presentation of the perspective, but we do have like an idea. Generally, the foreground flower is much bigger than the tiger or the mountains or the trees. So this is the imaginative, decorative, maybe you may say, painting, not a realistic photographic perspective. So we exaggerate the waterfall, but eventually I made it smaller. I think in the final version, you can see. I did only 2 versions, fortunately. I did a lot of mocks on computer. Like here, I erased the mother because it's too obvious, and they didn't buy the idea of a mother taking care of the cup for Mother's Day. So the baby looks like drowning. So we abandoned that. I did remove the ink and then put more color in as requested. They want stronger, vibrant watercolor. So eventually we give up all black. So that rock is not there anymore. And so I did this bank on the other side without the tiger-shaped rock. Then we added this original idea, the drinking tiger in the corner. It could be smaller proportionally. I probably would do that today. So this is an uncropped version of my painting. There's some a little more on the left side, especially. They cropped it in the final product. So I probably will keep this there. I think with the that composition before the cropping, I think. So this is what we're going to do. All right. So the paper we're going to use is the mulberry paper number 2 or number 1. Number 2 has more stringy fiber. It's good to do landscape, but I think even on the flowers, a little more texture is okay. So I'll just stay with my favorite in this class, the thin one, because then I can trace it. I can. I didn't bring that to Canada. I should. I think. Let me see. I can just copy this one, and with some modification, we get rid of the tiger. If you want, you can have that mother and the baby tiger there if you want. Okay, so I just cut this piece in half. That's 13.5 square.
Henry?
Yes.
Can you move the paper to your right so that we could see more of the paper, less of the brushes?
Okay. Let me see if I can move the camera. No, I can't. Let me see. Maybe I have to do some.
That's perfect now. This is good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let me get a knife here. It's in high resolution on YouTube, like a full 2K resolution. So if you watch on a large screen, it should be very good quality. Actually, this is smaller than the. So I just draw it maybe. I just draw it. with normally we use a charcoal that could be dust away. Okay, and I'll put this water line first. This horizon, maybe that's about. Actually, it's a little bit higher than half, right? So to give more room for the flowers, yeah, a little bit higher than the flowers. Okay, then goes this way. So that's pretty leveled, but now we have like a perspective kind of. Slant. Okay, and we got steps, so there's some kind of waterfall, small falls here on this corner, and so this few perspective lines are very important. If you made a mistake, like your horizon is too low or too high, you'll have big trouble to adjust for the composition. The cliff here should be not in the middle, right? We always tend to do that, and the fall usually is larger than we in this painting. Actually, we enlarged it. It should maybe this is a giant fall in like a really big fall. It could be very small in real life, and it has a little bit slant on the top, because the perspective is this level. It's about a little more than a third, maybe. Yeah. So this line goes down like that. The artist should standing on this side, on the right side, right? Maybe. So it got a little bit perspective there. And if you want, you can add a little small cliff to stop the contrast with the fog behind, and so that creates a little gate, kind of gate. And there's some rock, and I'll save some light there. But the top plane, this is vertical, right? The vertical plane, and this is slant. This goes this way, and there's some like a linear perspective you need to make. So this larger distance getting narrower, and also there maybe getting this is closer, something like that, squeezed, something. It's all bushes, greens there. So the flower we need to save, like we did with the. Oops, I'm using the wrong side. Oh, okay, that's fine. It's not really. Yeah, this is smooth side should be the front. The smooth side should be the front. We can. It's got coarse, but maybe that's will be interesting to see. I'm using the wrong side today. This is actually a personal preference. Maybe you can use either side, the rough side or the smooth side. Okay, the flower is this big one is in the middle, right? A little bit on the left side. I think we should move it a little bit here. So I combined some petals. We don't have to do the 6 in real life. It's just a general impression of the silhouette of the shape of the flower. It's in a 3/4 view maybe. So we only see this three maybe plus a little bit. The sixth one is behind there. So I'm also vary. I will vary the size and also the detail and the intensity, color, saturation. You can see it was more saturated on the front. Actually, we always tend to avoid the edge. Why don't we just break that edge? So with this pedal, so that's so that's the idea. I see. So the charcoal could be dust off. If you're using pencil, I would suggest you to trace the original. It's easiest. Or draft something on other paper and then trace it. So this half flower there, and then there are some combined shapes. There's another small one in between. Let me just dust it off. I'm getting dirty here. Here, let me just dust it. So this could be dusted off. This soft charcoal, soft willow charcoal. So we just do a little star. You can do just a little star, another half star somehow, and but not in a front view. You try to. Actually, this one is more in a front view there, but it's lighter and smaller. And this one combined with this somehow, and try to make some holes to show the stems and the leaves. Some part is more combined shape of petals. Like you see the field here behind me with the daylilies. It's a delicious food. Do you know the hot and the sour soup? One of the main ingredients in the hot and the sour soup in American Chinese Chinatown restaurants. Many people's favorite. I know. That's why every restaurant, almost Americanized Chinese restaurant, always serve that as a common soup, free, right? When you get in the cold day, like the winter time, it's very delicious to have that. So that you will see the yellow stuff, dried daylily pods. Daylily pods. That's what I would do. Daylily buds. Yeah, that's the main ingredients of hot and sour soup. Yeah. So this leaves I'm drawing is very carefully planned according to the orchid painting idea. Like to create negative shapes of a phoenix eye or crescent. But I don't really paint to care about where the leaf coming and goes. I'm more concerned with the shape of the negative space that create with these lines. So that's the idea. Okay. So you generally have the idea of where the leaf growth. So they grow from this somewhere under outside the picture. So it looks coherent, not just coming from all directions, but it goes generally in this direction, but create this crossing. By crossing those lines, you create some shapes, like we see on the handout. Okay, and here the lower part of the some shapes. So I really it's more abstract kind of idea of composition, not really flower and birds kind of painting. We do the whole thing, you know. Don't have to, right? So that's all. Just make some mistakes and then correct it before you paint. And okay, here's the fall, and you need to make steps. Okay. This. So maybe this is a little smaller than. So I made the flower maybe in the middle. Anyway, I'll do that. Okay, to protect this area, we can use the liquid, or you can. I really don't want to negative paint to save all those the yellows. You can also just paint the yellow, and then maybe. Let's try just do it without the resist. I know many master painters, they prefer to do this. Just paint negatively. Okay, let's try. But you need to wait the yellow dry before you can cut in the shape. So we just start with some positive painting. That's just you can use a big soft brush maybe, and we get that base color, that the light yellow. It's not too cold, so I got this warm kind of yellow here to start with, but it's not too orange either. So maybe I add a little bit, mix the both cool and the lemon yellow and the orange yellow, what they call the Calian yellow maybe, and you can add a little more. Maybe that's about it. So on the distant one, this little flower is maybe a little bit more towards the cool, so you can start a little bit greener or cooler on this one. Okay, so we just paint it. We just paint the star shape. No worry about gradation or anything. Just very light one, and just you have to vary the shape of the petals, so they don't look exactly like the star. So it could be a little perspective, this foreshortened or combined shape. So I do like the combination of this with this one, but I vary the temperature. I add a little red even there, so that is warmer, maybe in the shade. So this is not an important one. It's like a jumper, just to combine the two groups. And then another one, a little cooler again. So this is a half one. It may have some buds sticking out there, and some. I don't know. You don't have to paint the structure or form of the flower, just the color at this point. We can still define it with a negative shape, negative painting there later. So just some yellow flowers. You can just paint a whole blob, like don't have to separate the because it's so light. We use background color to cut in the shape. Just putting some color there. And I want some stronger color here. Okay, but maybe just vary the size and the distance intervals. This main flower should be a little bit saturated. I tried to have some calligraphy is good on this one to show the stroke. Hey, this is a Chinese brush painting. Just the stroke, without back and forth. Try to. You can do more than what you need. A little bit here and there. But then we can hide it, redefine that later. So this side we don't have anything happening there. That's good. The leaf could be done at the very end, the darkest. So we start from light. Yeah. Okay. And if it's too dark, you can blot it. You can blot it away a little bit. So give room for medium and darks. Okay. Okay. Is there any other yellow that we can do? Yeah. So we just start with this. So this is big yellow, and then we just disperse a little bit some other yellow to echo this. So there might be some yellow on the other bank of the river, the stream. That's the idea. So you can echo this, and it should be a little cooler as you get further. So no orange or red, just more green or just lemon. Okay. You might hear a little bit strange sound because we have a painting, house painting going on. Okay, let me. So here's a tiger. I don't really want to work on the tiger yet, but I just have to leave some maybe some space for that. So at this point, I don't really need to worry about that. So just basically paint the light color, the yellows. So the tree also have a little bit yellow, but I added a little green to it, so that just a very little touch of yellow and some yellow in this area. Maybe you can just paint the whole thing in yellow. Exhaust the brush. I think you can because in the end we only need to save the white for waterfall and some little fall here. All the other parts should be turned to some color, gray or so that's the purpose of this wash, just eliminate the unwanted whites. Yeah. So on this side we can start to add some blue. You can add a little bit of cobalt maybe, but it's kind of yeah, should be more sky color in the distance. Don't have to be even, so some part is still yellow. It's okay. I start to negative paint a little bit the shape, so you can see the trees behind the fall there, so that cutting the shape, and it's a little bit slant. Notice the angle, not perfectly straight, right? So that's and and you can wet the area, or you can just paint first with the light color and then charge it, wet into wet. Just the brushing, and you can still skip some unpainted part. Okay, and if you want to create a mist, you add water to the thirsty brush and just extend the color this way. Just keep it light. The hue could still be changed, like if you want a bluer or red, you can charge it with that. So that's the here we have some mist. So we're going to let me use a different clean brush to wet the waterfall first. Okay, on rice paper, if you want to keep the paper white, you protect it with water, actually clean water, so it will not bleed into this area. Okay, and then in some areas partially damp, and then you can use dry thirsty brush, dry on wet. Okay, just get some mist, some vapor, like oops, that's kind of yellow, but that's okay. Yellow to start with, that's okay. And some swimming pool color down here. Oh, there's a little fall area, like a little waterfall here. You need to save that. So just leave a little stripe of white on the over the horizon line, and along the edge of the river. There could be a little white line, water line. I got some paints in in the bottom of the brush, so if I like it, I just keep going. It's accidental effect. Some dry paints on my brush, I just keep doing it with. So that's unplanned, but it's a happy accident, I would say. Some green to finish that. And above here, if you want, you can leave it dry before you blend. You add greens. I know. I see some students keep working on wet into wet. It will get very muddy. So some wet into wet is fine. You can have a little bit, but don't blend too much. If you want soft edges, soft, and you can add that. But still, there's some partially dry part. You can do that. So just paint the dry part, maybe combine. So that's the top of the cliff. I'm doing a little bit greens, and the cliff will be brown. Okay, we can mist out, fog out the corner here. But we don't want any white there, so what we do is to just add some purplish color, maybe, blend 3 primaries to get in the beginning, maybe just more red, and then it will turn it to some kind of purple there, or blue. So the value we're working on that this time is light, very gentle. You probably cannot really see it. Let me put another piece under it. Okay, now the waterfall need to be extended. So I just kind of spread a little bit this blue color. And then on this side, maybe should be a little greener. The sky color is let's do the sky a little bit. It's very because we want to show the whiteness of the waterfall, so we want maybe just a very light ultramarine would be good, I think. You can add a little bit ultra lavender or ultraviolet, maybe a little bit, or magenta or crimson, a little bit warmer. For this color here, just a gray. Look. I think I got some yellow there. We can add a little turquoise, maybe just to bring that down to this. You cannot really see that. I know that it's a reflection maybe. But it's very light. And if I want, I can add more later. For now, I just want to see the waterfall shape a little bit. This top could be a little bit uneven. There might be a pump, a weight, kind of curve there. So let me just leave it for later. And here I need to paint the top of the another kind of water surface, horizontal surface above this little fall, right under the giant fall. Okay. So that's a little water line there, and then it falls just like that. Okay. If the bank is light, the reflection usually darker in general, as a rule of thumb. So we can make the reflection a little bit stronger, but maybe too wet to do that. So let's see how we save this. I need to try this. So maybe it's time just to, we can iron it, later. Let's finish what we can do. This is an unimportant part, so you don't want to have saturation like that. But still, you need to have a little bit color for the water. It goes all the way behind the leaves. So that's a little bit there. So concentrate, disperse, getting lighter and lighter. This river here is the flat surface, the same plane as the top. Let's start falling maybe So it's pretty rapid, maybe like a little bit slant here. Just if you want a soft, blurry edge, you can do it wet into wet. Otherwise, just wait later to do that. So here I need to generate some color to show the fall here. So I just paint the top, but leave that white falling line, the folding line, or folding line, whatever. So the change, where the plane change from the horizontal to vertical, that is the whitest. You can still have a little bit color on this. I will use dry brush, maybe just show you. So there's some shape there, like the fall goes this way straight, and a little bit here. I added a little purple. Try to use a little different in hue to separate the planes. So dry brush could also use to have soft. And here's some splash in the bottom, so there's some white there with the splash effect. Okay, then at the top it should be more sky color and more horizontal, and some more sky color. I start to negative paint a little bit. Try not to you can leave a little white line if you want between the petals and this. So I'll just leave little white for reflection, and we will do the horizontal one, and then we will just do some vertical just to show the reflection. So this horizontal one is more blue, represents water. The vertical maybe the cliff later, after it dries, maybe, if you want to avoid muddiness. You don't want to keep working on the wet. Okay, let me just fill in this here with some very light sky color for the water, and this part is very shady, so we want to have some dark colors. It's almost dry. Good. Okay, so I'll cut in with you can use purplish color, the contrast with the yellow, blue, and purple, red. Yeah. And if you add some brown, it will make it really dark, as if you add yellow to it, yeah. Or muddy. So this is still water, but suppose there's some ground here. I will start with a little browny color to blocking this corner. Block this corner. Okay, and then to negative paint the petals a little bit. The leaves is darker, so don't worry about that. The darker green could go onto this and vary the shape of the petals. And negative painting is fun. So this time no resist, just negative painting, right? And this one I do want to break that edge. That's very important. People try to leave too much space there. oops. Yeah, this should be the leaf already. We should get enlightened into the water. So now it's time to add some blue on this side. Okay, that's you can blot it if it's too dark. But if you add enough water, it should be okay. We'll add a little blue to finish the top part. Actually, there's a lot of leaves here, should be. So we just paint the background. It's a shady part, but with some suggestion of maybe flowers overlapping, or dry brush is not really good at this point, so we try to keep the moisture. But on rice paper, dry brush looks much better than on watercolor paper, even though you're not preferred maybe at this point. Okay, just to gradually create a distant kind of aerial perspective. It become more into that swimming pool green and or blue color. Okay, you can start to worry about some reflection, maybe. So we need to okay, let's do the cliff a little bit here with burnt sienna. Maybe burnt sienna is a little too strong, but you can use a little bit amber to soften it. Yeah, that's probably this is the medium gray. So some dark rocks define the shape, but lost in the font shapes there. There's some kind of foreshortened. This is broader on this side, and like that, right? So this becomes squeezed. Okay. Cannot just keep working. You can wait until it dries to add, to change things. So we need to tuck in the shady part of the bank with a little dark to define that. Okay. Just add a little suggestion of another distant cliff. And okay, we can start to add a little green, medium green. We have ready-made greens here. We don't use the watercolor. Has a lot of nice greens, so we can just use I just use all the ready-made green. You can add some turquoise for stronger. Okay, here we have some bush, like so large and medium, large, small, and medium. Always there when you do trees. vary the shape. Even within small group, there's a variation. Just to vary the. Okay, then you goes into distance. Dry brush a little bit. And split brushes would be also good. I just got some dirty color here to add some dark. Dry brushing for the cliff. This way, football style will be fine. Just to dot a little bit, but don't overuse it in watercolor because it may look too messy. So you want to paint the shape of the whole tree, or the light, maybe, so to speak, not to paint individual leaves or branches, something like that. Okay, so I want to separate some plants here, some planes, like a surface, so some top accepting the light, some vertical ones in the shade that creates some kind of sense of light or 3D kind of effect. You can put some shadow under on the vertical side of that. Okay, a little bit pure color may be good, but not too much brown in the distance. I'm more worried about the perspective, so don't paint this too narrow, this too wide. That create a linear perspective. My bank client always favor the greens, not the grays. So I just have to satisfy that with a lot of green. Okay. Where's the tiger? I don't know. Just hidden in the woods still. Not yet to come. Okay. And on this side, they should be a little bit bluer, right? Just add a little more blue and lighter too. Yeah, just paint the whole shape, and then a little bit texture. Dry brush. Okay, this may have a little bit yellow, but not too much. It should be more purple. Just let it blend in. Okay, this part is dry. Now you can paint the water. First of all, I would do the falls with dry brush, like we have learned from my landscape painting class. You use dry brush with gray, kind of rolling the brush to get the kind of whatever stuck. I forgot that the music term for this. If someone remind me that. the Italian, dry brush. Be very careful to save the white. And some stones in the water. Actually, you're not doing the water. You're doing the. I mean, you're not doing the stone. You're doing the water. Here. And here, I use my palm to dry it, to feel the paper. If it's still too wet, I just wait. And just leave a little white on the top. Very important there. Okay, the white is this side. Let's say, so we shade the other side, the outside, the left side, and leave this line more hard, right? The right side. And you can vary a little bit with a little bluer sometimes on the other side. Dry brush, you have to feel that gravity. So become softer and softer into the air, into the bottom. Before it reaches the bottom, it become white. Yeah. Okay. And also see it gets narrower here, so we need to have some more faults here. You can have little fault above this, and then a long one. That's all have to do with the rhythm of nature. They're not equal. Okay. Yeah, just let it dry to add more, I think. Now there should be a little fault there. Okay, now I'm going to add some more vertical lines. Just using a complementary color. It's a little brown or red, kind of reflection of this cliff, supposed to be on top into here. Okay. Not too much white, but some white. A little bit. The water in the fall in the water should be a little darker than the actual water on in the sky. Okay, so we can paint some color here. And just to paint a little fall there, vary the shape of that also, and define the top with a little blue, and the bottom also. Okay, let me try mount it to see how we got so far, and we could keep working until we are satisfied. Add a little more of ochre, yellow ochre here. Just some dry brushing. This corner need to be a little stronger. We'll just use some neutral tint there. Oops. Okay, let's see. Okay, after dry mounting, it will become less absorbent, less bleeding. Okay, also it shows the color vibrancy. So again, I'm using this mixed media paper as backing, and a silicone dry mounting paper that comes with this release paper. So I mounted this last week actually. Already this prepared this backing paper. So just lift this release paper first. Alright, and then put this on. Oops, I got another piece here. I don't need that anymore. I made a mistake in the beginning, so this is actually the coarse side. Let's see how it goes. It has a lot of texture. You can even see that from your screen probably. With a high resolution video, considering do that. So I'm going to cover the painting with this release paper I just peeled off, and heat my iron. Sorry. Okay. And the iron, as the iron is not very hot yet, I start working from the center, just to press it gradually center out to drive out the air. If you're using watercolor paper, you don't have to you just wait it or use hair dryer to dry between steps. Because the class is for fusion techniques or styles, I try to combine different the advantage of different media from East and West. For those who has just joined it, the color I'm using is Western watercolor, a new kind of color called the Cool. This is the brand. It is more vibrant, as you can see. It's probably too vibrant on regular watercolor paper, but on mulberry paper or on Eastern rice paper, it's the best. It just keep, if you use regular watercolor, it turns fade away. But on this kind of paper, it just balances it with more texture, maybe because it's coarse, not so reflective. Anyway, I like it, like the effect. So I'm going to do some medium and darks, more medium and darks. Okay, that's you don't have to dry completely, but if you want, you can continue to wait or dry it. I'm doing it on the back side just to keep it flat, to make it flat. Because this backing paper is only 90 pounds or maybe 80 pounds. So I can still roll it if I need to ship it. Okay. Now let's do some details. I'm using smaller brush. You can use a Gumby liner or a small weasel brush, a small stiff brush, this is basic stiff brush or other any smaller brush, or you can just use a calligraphy brush with sharp tip. Okay. You just use this Wang Xizhi or General Wang's calligraphy brush. This is one of the best brush for calligraphy, also good for watercolor. Okay. So I'm going to use a little bit orange color to start with the middle of the flower. So wet the brush first, it will become pointed. Right. So I use unplug this. Okay. So this red color on I made it more like the tiger pattern. I think there's tiger daylily, not just the tiger lily, but similar to tiger lily maybe. So I push the brush to get the texture kind of. If it's too dry, just add a little water. So it's good idea to experiment with maybe a small piece of paper first. The center is darker actually. You can use a little bit more magenta to make it really deep red, and try to do the pattern with some perspective. So the vein is not exactly in the center, right? But I really don't worry about the realism. I'm more worried about the two things. One is the natural principle, like you cannot violate the some gravity law or some kind of natural laws. But more principle of design also. So you vary the intervals and its shape, not all just parallels, but some to make it interesting to look. So paint more like calligraphy. Dry brush, the pattern of the on the paddle. And leave the white. Leave the yellow show through to. Yeah, that's important, right? To show the. And you can paint in one color and add another while it's still wet, but not completely repeat to create some depth. This is my main flower, so I need to spend a little more time. The center vein could be a little brown, but we can add that later. Okay. And become more yellow. So every stroke, you could vary the temperature or the hue a little bit, just to avoid boring. Okay. And here we can have some the dark stamen. You can do that after it dries. If you use very thick paints, you can do that. They usually come with a little big pollen dots, something like that. But in this landscape painting, we don't really care too much about those details like we do in the flower and birds. But a little bit on the foreground, it's a combination of flower and birds and landscape. Okay. We can, because this flower gets like too big than the one, so we can divide it into two, suggesting maybe some overlapping. Just like the flowers seen behind me on the small picture, my background picture, it paints the whole field, not just the one individual flower. So just the impression of the flower. And some dots could be actually they usually come with dark dots, but I try to make it to confuse with the camouflage with the like tiger stripes, so to make people think, oh, I'm doing the tiger here. Actually, we tried to hide the tiger behind the flowers somewhere at first, but this becomes the most easy to find in the hide and find game of this project. I have a lot of feedback yesterday from my social media, my Facebook friend, because I shared a link where you can download the wallpaper for computer and the mobile device from the Cathy Bank website, and maybe I can share the link later. With, I'll pass that link to Yong'e. Maybe you can share that. Many people have had chance for the first time to seek the tiger from that. Okay, now we have some color change here. So some dark and some light, some dark against the light. That's we try to worry about the shade. So some verticals part is more shady. Right? The center part is shady. Yeah, that's the general idea. Okay, it's the shady part. Okay, now it comes to this very fresh color. I want to keep it fresh, so not too muddy. This one is a very light. Okay, the center there is shaking with some shaking hand. Staccato, right? That's the word. Staccato. It comes back to my mind. I just got one blank. Staccato strokes when you do this. Yeah, just purposely reduce the details and reduce everything on this to create some kind of depth, sense of perspective. Okay, and I do like some contrast also. So in this shady area, we need to have some shading color, no white here, but dry brush. I put some. This is very common technique. We just put dark dots on the yellow to suggest the petals inside the bud. Right. Okay, that's. And you can do the calyx with some green brown kind of color, I think. If you cook, the Chinese sour and the hot and sour soup, you're probably familiar with this. It has a long stem with the petal shape kind of bud. Yeah, it has that kind of thing. All right. Before I do the leaves, I want to complete this extend this a little bit just to blend it into the water a little more. Yeah, just cut in a little shape there. If it's not dark enough, we want the value to be different. So this flower pops. You got like splash under it, so that's okay. Just like that. All right. Might look like still a little too light, but a lot of work to do. Let's do the other part. So we should start. Just compared to the water, the white, we need to make all the other white less white, gray it down, so it was to make the waterfall really stand out. Yeah, you can squeeze out some, you can negative hint some shape if needed, and just putting some shadow under the trees. It could be brown to show the soil, a rock. Now I want to confuse people with the tiger color, so we want to add some tiger color around it. Okay, and some of this flower in the distance. I'm not sure if you should see any flowers shape, but color maybe a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Now let's do the leaves. Can't wait. Right? So we have to use a very heavy color to do the leaves, almost like very dark green. So we use phthalo, maybe phthalo, cobalt, phthalo here, or this could be indigo. I'm not sure. Indigo, yeah. And then you can green it with you can charge it later. Just you can add a little brown or a little bit of blue. Turquoise to make it different, but that's the darkness to start with, maybe. Okay, so just go with a shape and some leaves under, some crossing leaves. Yeah, I take advantage of some texture here, some yellow. So I just consider that I lighten part of the leaves could be. So just making those crossing lines, some behind, some like that. And if you are really eager to see this this left side, I mean the right side, you want to maybe do it first with some green color, a little bit more green. I just mix some yellow and the blue. Okay, this one goes up and down, right? It does like what we usually do with the orchid painting. So it gets narrow and then down and down there. Okay. And make some negative shape. Oops, I think it's too wet here. It's got blurred. Okay. Hopefully that would do it. Okay. You can create your own pattern, but using the concept of the crossing shape, cross the phoenix eye. Sorry, is there a question there?
Oh, hi. Somebody asked what kind of brush you are using. Also good for calligraphy.
Yeah, it's called the General Wang's calligraphy brush.
Thank you.
W-A-N-G. The last name of the 4th century or 5th century Chinese calligrapher Wang Youjun or Wang Xizhi. That's he's a military general, so we call him Wang Youjun. That's his military title, Youjun Jiangjun. This is the brush. You can do everything from detail to wash, everything. And it's endorsed by Art Center Professor Robert in his watercolor class. Okay, I purposely put the dark against the light here, kind of frame it a little bit. Okay. Put some dark there, the background, and you can squeeze, but don't do it all around. Once you like it, you tend to overdoing it. I think that's the problem we all have. Okay, this side. Just put a coherent angle so that it looks like continuous curve with the flowers in between. So this is a complete curve there. Okay, and if they think this is too light here, you can make it
Hi, it's 3 o'clock now.
okay. We have half an hour, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for reminding.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I'll keep working on the. Let me finish this side a little bit. So this a little bit leaves behind or stem, and then goes this way. Connect the two groups. Okay, and here we have. Just you don't have to worry about the completion of the sleeve or something. It's all have to do with the abstract composition structure. That depends on that. You just add necessary. Don't have to worry about the completion of any botanic parts or things like that. Okay. Let's do the tiger before we run out of time. So let me enlarge. But you can use your reference photo in the handout to see the detail. Maybe others are still need the whole picture. So I will just do a yellow orange color for the nose, maybe. So it's make sure it's above the water, licking the water here. So maybe I just do a smaller one, maybe here, a little bit inside. But once you change anything, it will change everything. But let's just do it like shows in the handout. So this is above the water. Okay, so just do it. I think this tiger proportionally is too big, but that's the only way you want people to see. Okay, so that's the tongue and the nose, the ears. There is a white brow there, so you need to save that between the forehead and the eye. There could be a little white in the ear as well, so just suggest that maybe. So this is the shoulder. It goes under here. That's the paw there, and the back just disappear, hidden in the bush. Reduce just one eye, one ear would be probably enough. But I'm going to do black with the. You can mix some black with this Serbia or what is the Van Dyck, whatever, dark brown, and darker brown will be enough, I think. With a little bit blue, darker blue, instead of pure black. Okay, the eye is kind of squint. Just a suggestion. And the nose, a little bit dark lip, and then we'll do the tongue with a little red. Okay, just a little ring on the outside of the eye, a little bit pattern on the forehead, and then under the eye, maybe a little bit. You don't need to leave some white for the beard or mane or whatever. Okay, just a little stripe. And then the claw there. Okay. Very, very suggestive. And just a little red tongue under the mouth there. In the water, just with a suggestion. Okay, that's probably it. If you want to zoom in, I can see. Oops, too much dark. Just a quick zoom in to show you. Okay, very suggestive. Alright, let's do some details if needed. We'll just add a little line for the stamen, maybe a little bit. Little polling dots, not necessary, but just don't do 6, like just 1 or 2, maybe it's not. Okay, now the back need to be a little bit solid. The shady part of that could be a little stronger. trees behind, maybe. Let's see. It's actually it shows better on the light. Maybe that's okay. Just put some more shadow there. And some accent on the cliff. Okay, the trees should be a little darker than the sky, right? Okay, the tree, because tree is vertical, we got shadow. Oops, too yellow. Just some accent color. More green. This is a red hair brush. It's a liner, but it's quite broken, so I just use it as a broken texture brush. Okay. And this should be a little greener in front of that. And this part should have the strongest color contrast or valley contrast. Dry brush a little bit to contrast with the flowers. I mean, not falls. Okay. I like the softness on the other bank, but we just need to add a little definition on the along this river line. Okay, so this goes behind. List. Go to list. And a little bit blue on purple. Oh, that's a little bit too much. Add a little yellow maybe to lighten it. And you can still blot away if needed. Okay. Oops, I just painted the background. But that's okay, it should be behind the mat there. So you can paint outside the frame, no problem, right? Because it will be hidden behind the mat. A little bit peninsula kind of, just to contrast with that little fold. Okay, anywhere else we need to? Okay, this part maybe a little bit more. Okay, the water before it falls is colored with is a refraction on the sky color, whatever, and then it falls, it become white. Goes like that. Still, there's some shape that we need to define a little bit. And it shows the underneath rock some part, so you got this browny color. Okay, the falling line should be really narrow. So that's the problem I'm having here. Just maybe do a little very pale wash or something quickly to create some mist. Okay, I think it's that's about it. That's about it. And I think I will hide my signature in the shade instead of on the side, on this side. What do you think? Maybe here it would be good. Should I use red or maybe blue? Let's use this turquoise blue. bit dark. To blend in with the this work. Just put it here. My initial H E N Y. Okay. Yeah. I'll just put to 22. Okay, it's hidden there, but it's there. And, if I have time, what I do is I will add some dark accent, like under the tree, or indicate the shadows of branches, trunks of trees, something like that. Okay, you can add that. Eliminate unwanted white. Okay. Any questions? And if we want to show the screen, maybe take a screenshot of it, of your work if you need it.
Harry, you want somebody to ask you a question? I can let them to unmute themselves.
Yeah, and I can open for critique. And
okay, anybody have a question, you can unmute yourself and ask Henry directly now.
Mm-hmm.
You can unmute yourself if you have questions. Otherwise, we will have to do the screenshot.
Okay, let me see gallery view. Is anybody finished yet? I think it's a very complicated painting. It does take
You want
time.
to do the screenshots?
Yeah, I'm not sure if people already have some finished work. Yeah, okay. I see some, Bonita,
Okay.
Laura, yeah, Laura. Okay, D. It's almost finished. Great. Yeah, you
Okay,
guys
let's do the screenshots. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, you can ask them to hold the painting in front of the camera.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. The first one. To second one. Okay, there's no second one, only one.
Probably, that's what I guess. It's a kind of,
All right. Harry, you can pick whatever
okay,
you want to critique.
Okay, I would go with the order. So D first.
Okay,
D.
good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me
I
see.
know I'm not done, but I just, I don't want to rush it.
Let me see. How can I? I'm not a host yet, so I cannot spotlight D. Can you?
All right, let me spotlight you.
Spotlight D. Reagan. Yeah. Or you can give me host status. I can do the.
Okay. Right.
Can I do this? I cannot host. I cannot spotlight people yet. Or you can just spotlight. Can we just do it on the thumbnail? I can do that also.
Let's see.
Yeah. Maybe we can just do. But people will hold the picture too long. So if I
D. All right.
Can you? Okay, let me change my view here. Okay, now on YouTube you can see all the thumbnails there. So generally, I think you have done very good on composition. The proportion of flowers and mountains exactly like we have designed. And I see some very precise ones probably traced, some free draw, but both are okay. I like the flowers in contrast with the color behind all of your paintings. So far I've seen no problem with that. And I like the white font saved the white background. Unpainted paper, that's what everybody is doing very good. I like all of them. Let me see. So
Yeah, I'll
you
try to find you. The name is.
can you put them spotlight, replace my
Okay.
spotlight? Yeah. So I can see each. Oh, now we have two. You can take my spotlight off if you want to. Okay, that's good. So we can see both the large screen and small screen. Okay, now we can see.
I have something trouble with it.
No problem. You can take my spotlight. We can at least see one next to mine. That's good. So these painting is on watercolor paper, but it has very good Chinese brush strokes on the leaves, especially. I really like the flowers. You have a great grouping with a varied size and shape. Not to stick with the real thing, but your feeling is right. They're very very nice. I like that, and the value is correct against the light water background. The mountain could be a little greener and faded with
This
more
side or this side?
both sides. Yeah, you
Both
can you can just use some opaque green color, opaque blue color to glaze it. Not really glaze, just embed. We call it embed into the dark. Yeah,
Is this too straight?
yeah. That could be too straight. Just try to
Okay.
make it to lost and found. Trees could be used to cover some in the middle part. You know, can break that. Maybe I'm looking at mine. Maybe I have to do that also. Just use trees to create a varied.
Okay, now I can do it.
Okay.
I'm not totally done because I just wanted to hear some critique on it. That's why.
Yeah. I think
Thank you.
you're doing very good. Just too much dark on the trees. Just more green and blue. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Great job. Okay,
Thank
now can you change to another person? Let's do Susan, or it's gone. Okay, Susan is next, right?
Yeah, you can do it now.
Thank you. I got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, beautiful front with the leaves, waving leaves. The very long stroke I like, but it's a little bit unnatural. It combined two shape. Maybe somehow break that continuous line. It's too dominant. Yeah, that line combined with the right, it's almost like just like one leaf. Maybe a little flower to break it somehow in the middle, or so maybe on the tip. We don't need the complete leaf. It's too much attention on that. That's the only problem I see. Other than that, it's fine. So the left mountain could be a little lighter with a more foggy color. Yeah.
This one in here?
Yeah, right. It's a little bit too strong. Also, the darks on the background could be a little bit hidden. So it's only on the shady part. So you can put some green on top of that to just to hide the dark. It's good to have dark first, then add opaque color, green color on top of that. That's very common approach. Yeah, especially with opaque colors, opaque green or opaque blues. You want to have the dark as preparation for that. That's good. Yeah, the line on the fall could be a little bit continuous. The starting point on top should be heavier, but not in the middle. You know, in the middle start to get loose. So it all starts from where the falling line is. So if you have a lot of lines, you have to align them along with the falling line. Yeah. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? So
In the wall. In the waterfall?
You have like a heavy waterfall. Yeah. Right. You have like a heavy head on every line where the starting of those heads are too low. Some part is too low. You can have some part, but you have to just think about the steps behind it, the rock behind it. It should represent the structure of the mountain under the water. Yeah, you understand? So just think about steps when you paint those. Yeah. Okay. So they should be aligned horizontally somehow on top. Yeah. Okay. That's the. Thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you.
Okay, next I just go with on the top line, so one by one on my screen. So now we have Rosemary. Yeah, those. Okay. I think everybody's flower looks wonderful. That's best part of everybody's. The water a little bit too yellow on the far side of the river. It should be more. Yeah, it should be more green there. Actually, more green. Just put it more blue. I'm sorry, more blue instead of yellowish.
Green, more blue.
Yeah, because when you see this, like the swimming pool color, that's what I'm talking about in the water. The yellows on the mountains too could be a little bit more green or blue, and the fall should have a little bit like the band should be a little. Some are wider, some narrower, not too even like this. You understand?
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to change it once you missed it, because you can only make it narrower, not broader. The broader one you missed. You should keep some bands more wider than some narrower to create the rhythm. Yeah. So you can use white, but don't use that. It's against the watercolor rule. And you can use some rock to change that. Maybe just make it like a winter season, less water, So you can still do something like that. Just to, but if you don't do anything, that looks fine. Also, nothing terribly wrong. You can make the foggy part more purplish, grayish on the left, right? That yellow is a little bit. Yeah, that's all. I think I like the sky color, very soft, great. And you can extend everything to the edge. Don't leave any gap. Like on your left hand side, the corner on the right painting, your left hand, right there. There's the unfinished edge. You want to paint all the way outside to the frame. Right. That's a very common problem when you paint something on rice paper. There's no tape, or you stop before the frame. That's a very common student problem.
Okay.
Yeah, you should paint all the way to to break the frame. Okay. Okay, thank you, Rosemary. And the next person, let me see. Okay, we have Megan. Megan, can you hold painting? Hello. Okay, I see you have used liquid. Masking liquid? Yeah.
Liquid mask on the flowers.
Yeah. That will come later. I can see that. That's great. Yeah, that's good. You paint from background to the foreground with that very soft wash, and the water could be a little stronger behind the flowers to create the contrast necessary to show. Everything else looks fine. I think the upper right corner on your painting should be a little filled up, so you don't have a sky there. Just to eliminate that sky, I don't think we need that. Just one side on the left, even a little bit on the left corner too, so that will because in this painting we concentrate on the water, not the sky. So sky is minor factor. Yeah. Okay. everything looks promising. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we have Shirley. Right. I'll just go with the sequence on my screen. Shirley, it looks very like oil painting, very rich paints. Okay, so maybe it's out of focus now. Go back a little bit so we can see better. Okay, yeah. Oh, I see. It's watercolor paper. Yeah. The color saturation is a little bit gray. Maybe it's because the lighting. I think the color on the flower could be a little fresher than the tiger. Tiger is fine with bronze. Yeah. Yeah, you have a little more realistic tiger. That's fine. Great. Yeah, it's more realistic landscape with flower. Everything is proportionally good. Very nice. I think this right side is a little bit too much. You can cut it off maybe to make it square, because we don't have it in the original design. So this extension is a little bit extra. So if you trim it off into a square, just cut off the right side, it might look even better. Okay. Thank you. Okay, now let's do Benita. Okay, replace spotlight. Okay, Benita. Alright. Yeah, good. Hold a little bit back. Okay, now we can see. Yeah, the alignment of the flowers. It's like a 4 in a row. You can maybe cut off the bottom a little bit to change that. It's kind of hard to add another or something. The bottom part is too parallel, like the bottom row. On top there are 3 flowers. The flowers I'm talking about, the grouping. You know, it should be 5 or 3, or that's odd numbers. 4 in a row is it's just too obvious. And it's very the size are about the same, shape is about the same. So I would try to correct that. Maybe you can add another flower with a very thick opaque gouache, to the bottom of the first 2 flowers, to change that a little bit or something. Yeah, just to extend one of the flowers down, maybe break that line, the bottom line, and then you can trim it off a little bit. That's I'll see. I like the white water. You can use a little bit gray to kind of gradate from bottom up. So only the top fall is pure white. The bottom has some mist, vapor, vapor mist, just like you did with on the left side of that. Okay, you have missed the little fall, the white in the middle of the stream. But that's okay. You don't have to add it back. Just let it be as like a big river. Other than that, I think it's okay. I like the dry approach to painting the trees. That's okay. Just like one stroke approach. You don't have to do it in layers. Sometimes you just go directly to the color you want, like a little piece of jigsaw, pieces together, the colors. That's what I see you've been doing. That's nice. The left mountain could be a little bit extended to the bottom to show the foot of that a little bit in the mist. Yeah. Okay. That's it. That's my suggestions. Very good. Okay. So I cannot see paintings. I'll just go to the next painting. I can see Laura. Laura. Hello. Yeah, like the softness of the color. You got the color really looks fresh in the mist. Yeah, I like that. It's very watercolorish, and you can have a little bit of variation on the river bank in the background with some brown, some other warm colors, just to vary that a little bit. Other than that, I think it's nice. It's a very gentle feeling of the color. Very warm, very watercolorish. Very good. Very good composition. Yeah, well done. The tiger looks very cool. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's okay. I like the gesture that arm is kind of sticking out, the elbow sticking upward. That very good. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Okay, that's it. No more.
That's it.
Let me see. No more painting on the other screen here. Okay, so let me show you mine again. So this is the almost dry painting of this demo. I'm pretty happy with.
You have to spot yourself.
Oh, spot. Okay, I have to change.
It's still Laura.
I see. Thank you for Laura. Let me see. Replace spotlight.
All right, got it.
Yeah. So compare with the original watercolor painting. The new one looks more like a sky eye, like a bird's eye view, right? For some reason, the perspective is a little higher above, but that's okay. It feels the scene is a little larger. I think the blue on this area could be a little bit more. Maybe that's too purplish. That's I can still change a little bit of the hue here and there, just to harmonize that. I think a little bit. That's about it. Better don't overdo that. So yeah, just show you what we can do with the rice paper with watercolor and dry mounting technique. If you want to finish everything and then mount it, that would be also fine. I think the advantage is that you can see color after mounting, so you don't have to worry about the color changes. So don't overdoing things. So maybe just harmonize the whole scene with a little blue color in the background, and still leave bits of light yellow. So that usually the blue should be more in the background, because the aerial perspective, the trees look bluer. Everything is blue. Okay. You will dry lighter. Once you wet it, it looks dark, but it won't. It will dry up. It will fade off. So you have to learn with the experience of about that watercolor. Okay. If no more.
Okay, Harry said no, it's 3:42 now.
Yeah, we will We'll,
Thank you, Harry.
Thank you to stay late. So we'll see you next week. We'll do, I think it's a purple tree blossom jacaranda, right? If my memory serves me. Okay, see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye
Thank you.
now.
Thank you, Harry.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Harry. Harry, now